Hi guys, so what I wanted to show you was the trumpets of the RSP manifold that I took off. So as you can see, what I've done is sanding them all down, smooth them all through. What I initially did was used a Dremel, and I started taking quite a lot of material off. Once that was done, it started getting quite bumpy with the Dremel because the head's really small, so you can't maintain a perfect circle. Well, if you can, great, like if you can do it, it's amazing, but I myself, I couldn't. So what I ended up doing was I got myself a round wire wheel, used this, and I cleaned it all up, got it back round to where I needed it to be, and then what I did was I used this bit here, push it right down, smoothed everything down all the way through. But what you find with the wire wheel is that it leads a lot of imperfections. So what I then did was I got myself a 120 grit sandpaper, I cut a round circle, placed it on there, and then I used the drill and literally smoothed it down like that, and then I was able to get it quite smooth. And once that was done, I used the 240 and I pushed all the way down, pushed right down with the bit. So I've got this one left to do, so I'll show you how I did that. Let's get a proper 240, bigger one, and then rest this up against my knee so it doesn't fly everywhere, and let's show you what I did. So oops. Right, okay, here we go. Sorry, very difficult to do it with just one hand, as you can see, but at least you get an idea of what I did. There we go. And as you can see, all the way down, completely smoothed, and that's basically how I did it. With regards to my intake manifold and making the intake bigger with regards to the throttle body, so basically that's the intake manifold there. What I had to do, I tried the whole marker pen thing and a Dremel. Again, like, I mean, you can see here it's quite bumpy. It wasn't working, it was taking forever. So what I did was I basically got myself a hole saw, 68mm, which I had on the van. I use it for like plasterboards, for spotlights. It also cuts for aluminium and other kinds of metal. So I lined it up and I cut it with that. It wasn't the greatest cut because you can see on the edges where it's caught. So along that edge especially, it's not a problem. What I'm going to do is smooth that out, sand it all down, it will all be gone. With regards to grinding out this lip, I'm going to use a wire wheel started already, you can just about see it. So I'm literally just going to grind it down all the way around, and then you can see what I mean about the Dremel making things bumpy. You can actually see two bumps there which have happened, and that's where you're putting too much pressure on one side using the Dremel bit. It's great for taking off loads of material, but not great for smoothing things down. So I'm going to use the same principle as I did with this, sandpaper on a head, and smooth it all down at the end once I've grinded down the material to where I need it to. I've painted the manifold, not the greatest. I had some paint kicking around, metal paint, so I've used that and I've painted it up. Like I said, it's not the greatest. I'll probably tidy it up one last time when it's all completed, and before it goes into the car. But just wanted to show you a quick video of how I went about sorting this out. As you can see here, originally when I took the trumpets out, there were a lot. There was quite a large lip. The lip's now gone. I've opened it out, and like I said, I don't know how much difference it's going to make. I'm not going to adjust the length of the trumpets or anything like that, because what happens is when you adjust the length of these, you reduce torque. With a naturally aspirated car, down the lower rev range, you do want torque. So when you're at lights or at starting points or anything like that, you've got the power to get the car up to speed using the torque. So yeah, I don't really want to sacrifice torque for the sake of gaining you know, BHP. So I'm not going to mess around with the Palladiums or anything like that. I'm literally just going to bot it back on. What I have done is on the actual manifold side, on the intake side, where the actual trumpets are going to go onto, I started it didn't work very well, but I've actually smoothed down all of the welds. So inside where the two pieces of manifold, because this is constructed in two pieces, you can see the join line there. So it's two pieces that are like basically cast together. So along the casting you get bits of burr. So I've gone through and I've cleaned off on both sides. I've cleaned off all of the burr, all the way down and to the other side. Now what I'm also going to do is this actual lip here is still quite sharp and rough. So the same principle as cutting a bit of sandpaper and using a wheel and literally just pushing it through. I'm going to smooth off just the lip. I don't really want to go all the way down the Palladium. I just literally want to smooth off, sorry, the Palladium. All I want to do is smooth off the edges, that's it. So they are quite sharp, there's a little bit of burr, you can feel it. So I'm just going to smooth that off. That's it, there's all my tools kicking around. There's quite a few that I've used. So yeah, so that's basically it, and that's so far. So I hope it's informative and it helps. Alright guys, as you can see, the lip is now gone. Grinded it out. There's a tiny little bit of imperfection there. Just there, so I'm going to clean all that up. And that's it basically, and there's a little bit there. You can actually see when the aluminium dust goes into the grooves, you can see where you need to smooth it out. There's not really a lot left, so that's it. Once this is done, we'll clean it all up and put it all back together, and that's the end of the manifold, all done and dusted. So I'll show you what it's like completed. Right, okay guys, it's completed. So it's all cleaned inside, runners are done, all the paint is going to need touching up. And that's the throttle body intake done, and that's it. It's going to need painting again because the paint was slightly wet, and I've gone ahead and done more work to it. So yeah, that's going to need doing. And also, just to show you, I have closed off the resonator on the back. This is just there to basically reduce the noise, so you got air going in there into this back channel, which we no longer need, so I've just blocked it off. Load of epoxy. I tried aluminium welding it. It might be the aluminium actual weld that I've got wasn't sticking very well. Roughed it all up, still didn't work. So in the end I just mixed some epoxy and just basically glued that on, sanded it all down, cleaned it all up. I'll probably give it a little touch up or something. I'm scared that I don't want to paint it in case the paint flakes off, so it is alright how it is. It's all smooth and it's intact. It doesn't look amazing, but to be honest, once it's inside, it's done, it's not coming off. So that's that, it's all done. So it's just a case of putting it all back together and finished.